Coming up, the Capitals and Oilers each win with 5 unanswered goals. This is Locked On Game to Game NHL.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? You are listening to Locked On Game to Game NHL, local experts with the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Daniella Bruce, and thank you for making Locked On Game to Game your first listen every weekday. Subscribe to Locked On NHL and your team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We've got our Locked On NHL hosts here with us to tell you everything you need to know from last night in hockey. 5 unanswered Washington goals through the first and second periods decided things pretty quickly between the Capitals and Devils on Monday. Our Locked On hosts from each team tell you how DC pulled away early on the road.
The Washington Capitals take down the New Jersey Devils by a score of 6-3. Hi, this is Dan Holme of Locked On Capitals. The story of the game is nothing new to the Washington Capitals or their fans, as it's the fourth line that is getting the production. Nick Dowd gets on the board, and Garnet Hathaway getting 2 goals, that big production from the fourth line that they've had all season, but it was the production up and down the lineup. Connor Sheary gets a shorthanded goal. Ovi scores a goal from his office, nothing new. And then the blue line chipping in as Nick Jenson makes it 5-1. And then the dagger, the death blow, as Anthony Mantha shoots it to Alexi Protas and makes the final score 6-3. But the big thing for me in this game, above and beyond everything else, was the great play of Charlie Lindgren making 38 saves on 41 shots. Don't call him a backup goalie, as he stood on his head and made some saves that he probably shouldn't have made, but we're glad that he did. The Caps hope to continue in their winning ways. They make it 2 in a row tonight. They hope to make it 3 in a row as they take on the Dallas Stars on Thursday night. Keep it locked on to Locked On Capitals, and I will keep you updated all season long on your Washington Capitals. Locked On Capitals, your team every day.
What's up, guys? Trey Matthews of Locked On Devils here, and here is my post-game reaction. So, easy come, easy go. After going on a 3-game win streak, the New Jersey Devils were brought back down to earth by the Washington Capitals, dropping this game by a score of 6-3. The Devils were able to get off to a 1-0 lead thanks to Nathan Bastian. However, they imploded in period number 2. That was the story the first few games of the year. That was the story last year, and that was the story the year before that. It seems like the New Jersey Devils always just crash and burn come period number 2. And when they try to mount a comeback, so you saw people like Jesper Bratt and also Tomas Tatar able to rack up a goal in period number 3. It was just too little, too late. So Mackenzie Blackwood, after being named one of the 3 stars of the week in the NHL, he completely wasn't there tonight. And unfortunately, that was just the name of the game. The New Jersey Devils, they can create good opportunities for themselves, and they put up a solid fight on the defensive end. Unfortunately, they couldn't make a save. So that's how this game went for New Jersey Devils, and we're just going to have to rebound.
The Dallas Stars struck first in Ottawa, but didn't have much else for the Senators the rest of the way. Both Locked On Stars and Senators recap the offense stalled for Dallas.
The Dallas Stars suffer their first regulation loss of the young 22-23 NHL season. Hey, everybody, this is Dane Lewis with the Locked On Dallas Stars podcast, coming to you just moments after the conclusion of Stars versus Senators in Ottawa. And this Sens team just seems to have Dallas's number, not just tonight, but seemingly in recent memory. I don't think the Stars have won a game in Ottawa since 2018, and this was yet another installment in this series where the Stars just looked like the inferior opponent, despite this year's Dallas Stars seeming to be a better team, a more offensive-minded and a more offensive production type team. They really struggled to get any offense going, and it feels like there were moments that the Stars had some good looks. They started out the game really strong. I believe at one point that they had shots on goal, a lead there, 8-0, and they had the lead. Yoel Kiviranta gets his second goal of the season on a very impressive play where he's able to maintain the puck despite some disruptions from some Senators defenders, and it really seemed like the Stars might be able to squeak out a gritty win until very late in the second period, where Thomas Chabot rips a shot from the blue line late in the period on a Senators power play. And it felt like in that moment, the momentum shifted. Scott Wedgwood had played a fantastic game up to that point, but I think that hit to his morale, his, ability to contain this Senators team. It really just took a hit in that moment. All in all, still a good game from Wedgwood. 28 saves on 32 shots, but the game just wasn't the same after that moment, after that Shabbat goal. Brady Tkachuk gets on the board. Shane Pinto gets an unassisted goal, and then Derek Brassard buries the Stars. Wyatt Johnston does get one more in garbage time, but just an ugly game all around. Without a doubt, the worst game we've seen from the Stars so far this season. But the good thing is they get a chance to bounce back and right some of their wrongs tomorrow night in Boston. And we'll be talking all about that on Tuesday's episode of Locked On Stars. We'll review this game against the Senators and look forward to a matchup with the Boston Bruins. And I'll see everyone there.
There's no place like home, at least for the Ottawa Senators. I'm Ross Levitan from Locked On Sens, reporting after a 4-2 victory over the Dallas Stars to earn their 4th straight win, all coming on home ice. This one didn't get off to a great start. The Sens slept through the first 10 minutes, giving up the first goal against, but then put on the Jets and really took it to Dallas over the second and third period. We'll get into a lot of this tomorrow on the show, but Magnus Hellberg made his first start with Ottawa. He gets the victory. He becomes the first goalie in NHL history to win his first 3 NHL games, each with 3 different franchises, the first coming with New York and the second with Detroit last year. For more on this game and getting into the ins and outs of what this team can accomplish, make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Senators wherever you get your podcasts.
5 straight goals to end the game took the Oilers from down 3-1 to up 6-3 against the Penguins on Monday. Locked On Oilers tells you how Edmonton turned the tables on Pittsburgh halfway through the game.
A historic 26-shot second period helps propel the Edmonton Oilers over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hi, I'm Brett Holden from Locked On Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers score 4 goals in that historic second period as Leon Draisaitl scores a beautiful goal, also adding 2 assists to his night. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins finding the game winner as it finds his stick in front of the net after a mad scramble in front of Tristan Jarry, and Ryan McLeod puts the game away in the third period with his 3rd goal of the game. He is now tied for 3rd on the team in goals, along with Leon Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Connor McDavid held without a point again tonight. The Edmonton Oilers are 6-24-0 without him scoring a goal. The Edmonton Oilers improved to 3-3 this season, and they are now 31-3-1. A lot of records for you since they score, or when they score, the first goal of the game. The next game for the Edmonton Oilers comes on Wednesday against the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis.
The Vegas Golden Knights scored a pair of goals in the third to break the tie with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Locked On Golden Knights goes over the heroes from the win in Vegas.
Vegas Golden Knights respond with a victory against the Maple Leafs after the Saturday's loss against Colorado. Hey folks, Chris from Locked On Vegas Golden Knights here. Walking through the backside of T-Mobile Arena right now. Don't mind the camera being a little bit wobbly. Big night for our boys as they had a nice response. Getting 1 goal on the power play. A little bit of a rough second period. VGK's got to find a way to have a little more urgency in the second period. Otherwise, answers in the third by Stevenson and Amadio. Logan Thompson with another solid outing. VGK continues to have quality goaltending. Could take him far this season. We'll see. Folks, please check on Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, wherever you get your podcast from. Your team every day.
That's all today for Locked On Game to Game NHL. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every weekday. Remember to subscribe to Locked On NHL and your team's Locked On podcast for more hockey every day of the week. I'm Daniella Bruce, and this has been Locked On Game to Game.